Shown here is what remains of the grounds that surround Nenagh Castle. Nenagh Castle first began construction around 1200 AD. The original constructor was a man called Theobald Fitzwalter, who was one of the first butlers of Ireland. The castle initially took 24 years to build. It was surrounded by 24-foot walls with 4 watchtowers, and surrounding these walls was a moat. The castle was accessed by drawbridge. Outside of this moat lay the town of Nenagh, and this was also walled in. This is what is left of the grounds and is now open as a small park to the public. It reopened in April 2014 after a long 6-year reconstruction of the castle. They began reconstruction in 2008 and it was reopened on the 1st of April 2014. The castle is continuously open to the public from April through to October each year, from 10 to 4. Guided tours are available if you book in advance. The castle was originally constructed from limestone, mined locally, and a limestone mortar that held it all together. Seen here is where the original door was, accessed on top of the wall. Directly opposite the castle is the church grounds, and both buildings go hand in hand and can be seen from any point in Nenagh. Here's the main entrance as it lies at the Nenagh. The walls at this level are 16 feet thick. So now it's time to go inside and see what the inside has to offer. Shown here is an arrow loop window. An arrow loop window was a defensive feature in the castle. As you can see, people had lots of room to move around inside these windows, but it's a very narrow opening from the outside. The idea behind these windows was that archers could tuck themselves inside and fire arrows out at attackers on the castle. But attackers could not return fire as they were not able to hit the archers. As you can see, all the walls internally were constructed with random rubble. The glass panes have been inserted for safety. Next to the arrow loop window on the first floor is where the original door used to be. As you can see the height that it was off the ground and laid out onto one of the walls joined onto the castle. The arrow loop windows were also used for dining for the residents of the castle. You can also see here the grey stone in the wall where parts of the wall had to be reconstructed. Shown here is the arrow loop windows from the outside. Remembering the space that the archers had inside the window, now imagine trying to fire arrows back in. This was next to impossible. You'll notice the one on the second floor has been reconstructed, as the stone has not yet blended in with the original limestone. The next part of the castle that really caught my eye was the fireplace. Even though the castle had been fully restored to its natural beauty and most of the deteriorated parts reconstructed, OPW, the company who carried out the reconstruction, were not allowed to touch the fireplaces. Even though they had carried out fireplace reconstruction before, they had no solid evidence as to what the fireplaces in Nenagh Castle once looked like. Therefore, they were not granted permission to go ahead with the reconstruction. The fireplace that originally lay here was called a hooded fireplace. As you can see, the columns that used to support the hood, and the hood was then built out of limestone also. The limestone base was built at the foot of the fire, where the fire would be lit, and chimneys just exited out through the wall of the castle. The Conservation Act was so strict about the fireplaces that they could not even reconstruct parts of it that had fallen away from the inside that were affecting the structure of the wall. They had to be left exactly as they were. Close by the fireplace, they have a picture of what it once looked like, and although they're 90% sure, they're not allowed to go ahead with the reconstruction. This is the fireplace from the first floor, and as you can see, it is in far worse condition than that of the one on the second. None of the columns that used to support the hood even remain here, and although the structural integrity of the building is affected in this area, there is no measures that OPW could have taken to reconstruct this wall. Just to the right of this fireplace, you will notice fresh stones where parts of the wall were reconstructed. This will blend in over time. Now we look at the view from the roof of Nenagh Castle. If we look down here to start, we will see the original entrance into the castle and what remains of one of the archers' towers. Scaffolding has been set up around this, as this is the next phase of reconstruction, but there is no date yet as to when this will start. The castle could originally see the whole town of Nenagh, which was originally walled in, and watch guards would be positioned on the roof of the castle at all times, scouting for oncoming attacks. Where the castle's entrance is now used to be where another archer's tower was, and the wall continued along into the church grounds. The church was built in 1860, after the first phase of the reconstruction of the castle. The castle stands 100 feet off the ground and measures 40 feet in diameter at the top. This is a good deal narrower than its 56 feet at the bottom. The taper in the castle was yet another defensive feature built in at the time. Originally, the occupants of the castle did not have access to the roof, and the watchguards were positioned on the roof from the outside. This open viewing area for everybody's use was only added in the 1800s, and was one of the outstanding adaptations to this castle over its long-standing history.